Welcome to Lifestyle by Design, helping you solve everyday challenges. I'm Karen Jacobs, one of your co-hosts. I'm also a professor in occupational therapy at Boston University and a Brookline Rotarian. And here's my co-host. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea Calso. I am the Community Relations Coordinator at Brookline Access Television. And today we're going to kick off the show by talking a lot about food.
Oh, I love that.
In my community segment, I actually was able to attend a food event, the Brookline Rotary Pancake Breakfast. This is an event that happens every year, and it was so much fun to see so many people in the community come. So I actually put together a short video recapping what happened. So we'll take a look. That event was so much fun, and there were so many activities. I got to see you making the pancakes all day long, and I wanted you to tell us a little bit about the purpose of that event and you know, what the Rotary is doing with that event and other events like that in the community.
Well, as I mentioned when we started the show, I'm a Brookline Rotarian, very proud to be part of that club. It's a very active club, and one of our biggest events every year is our pancake breakfast. And it's at the Brookline High School. This was our 19th year of Pancake Breakfast. Next year it'll be the 20th year.
That's exciting.
It's really exciting, and I think what makes the event so exciting is it brings the community in. There are thousands of people that come. The whole club participates. We try to involve the community as much as possible, so our Boston University Rotaract students are there too, and as you may know, Rotaract is the university-based and community-based Rotary Club, and Brookline Rotary sponsors the one at Sargent College, Boston University. So those students were there as well as Interact students from the high schools. So there was a lot of involvement from the community. I was really lucky. I'm on the pancake making crew.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it's so much fun. It's really fun. And we were counting between 3,000 and 4,000 pancakes. Wow.
It's a lot of pancakes.
It was great, and everybody loved them. And what was really fun is that this year we added a little bit of a different spin. We had some gluten-free pancakes as well for people that had allergies. So that was fantastic. We had people and companies from the community there giving out tea, coffee. We had face painting being done, balloons, and our funds go back to the community, which is great because we give back as much as we can to the community at all times. And this event, much of the income from it will go back to helping the food pantry in Brookline.
That's great.
It really is. It was wonderful.
And it was a lot of fun. I was wondering, you had mentioned the Rotary, and I know that you do a lot of work outside of just the pancake breakfast and events. Tell me a little bit about what you do with those students in addition to that event.
Well, Rotary is great, and these are all students that are at Boston University. We have a lot from Sargent College, so we'll have quite a few students in nutrition who are part of it, in occupational therapy as well, and speech. So we meet on a weekly basis. I meet with the executive board, and we plan the next week's general meeting. And the students, help in all activities that the Brookline Rotary Club has as well. So they were collecting money for the Special Olympics. When we hosted Gift of Life Child, the students were there. They were doing translations. They were making sure that the family had all the support that they needed, either going back and forth to the hospital, staying with the child. They are doing lots of community service activities that are part of the community in Boston and Brookline, and then even larger internationally. I think what excites me is that these are our next group of leaders, and will be the next leaders in Rotary. And Rotary is such an important community service organization. There's over 1.3 million Rotarians in the world, in almost every country.
It's a big group.
It's a very big group.
And you said there's opportunities for students in high school to get involved as well. So
Absolutely.
Brookline students could get involved in these events?
Absolutely.
That's great.
And the Brookline high school students in particular, many of them attended the event, but there is an Interact Club, which is the high school version of Rotary, and that's happening at the Brookline High School. So if students are interested, they can sign up and be the next leaders.
That's great. And it's great to get involved at community service at a young age. You make a lot of friends and you get to attend those fun events and eat lots of food. Yeah. So speaking of food, I know that one of the events you sometimes do is you hold cooking nights and nutritional cooking nights, which we'll be talking a lot more about. So I was fortunate enough to attend one of these nights. So I wanted to share, yet again, a video recapping some fudgy black bean brownies that we got to make. So why don't you take a quick preview of what we're about to talk about. And they were so delicious. Oh. You didn't see me shoving them into my mouth after the video, but it was really silky smooth and delicious. So,
and it's hard to believe because it's a combination of chocolate and brownie, black beans, and
there's no flour.
No, they're flour. So these are gluten-free. Now I have not created these recipes, and we have two guests on our show who are going to discuss our Seargent Choice Test Kitchen. And so for the last 4 years at one of the dorms at Boston University, I've been very lucky to be part of a Seargent Choice team. And so we have Jen and Bianca on our show today, and I'm going to let them tell a little bit about how they connect with Seargent Choice and nutrition and healthy eating. Can we do that, Jen?
Sure,
Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm a registered dietitian at Sargent College. I'm one of 5. Most universities aren't lucky enough to have 5 dietitians. I feel very fortunate to be part of that group. in addition to being available to counsel students, we teach classes, we run different programs like healthy weight loss groups for faculty and students. We also work on the dining Seargent Choice program. And Seargent Choice was a healthy program that was started actually in 2004. It started with a chocolate chip cookie. Yeah, a cookie. The director of our center, Stacy Zawacki, 3 young children at the time, wanted to make a chocolate chip cookie healthier for her kids. So she reworked the recipe over and over and over until she came up with a healthier version of the Toll House cookies. So in that recipe, whole wheat flour and rolled oats are substituted for the white flour. There's less sugar. Instead of butter, we use heart-healthy fats. We use olive oil and peanut butter. And then to get a greater surface area covered with the chocolate, mini chocolate chips are used. The cookies were a favorite with not only her family, but she brought them in. Everyone at Sargent College loved them.
I love them.
So that was actually the beginning of Seargent Choice, the chocolate chip cookie. So from there, we decided that we wanted to make healthy choices easy for students. We didn't want them to think that healthy was, you know, counting carbs or having food taste like cardboard. So gradually things were introduced into the dining hall. We now have rotating pizzas that we have 16 different pizzas that are made with whole wheat crust, lower fat cheese. We have a shrimp scampi pizza. We have all kinds of different pizza. We have a soup every day. We have entrees offered at every single meal. And one of the ways that we get recipes for the dining hall is in collaboration with Karen Jacobs, and that's through her test kitchen. And so, so Karen started collaborating with us about 4 years ago. She hosts Wednesday nights in her home for students to come and try cooking different recipes that are made with whole grains and heart-healthy oils, and most of all, recipes that can be duplicated in their apartments and that taste delicious.
And easy to make.
And easy to make.
Very easy to make.
This year we collaborated with 2 registered dietitians who actually wrote this book, No Wine with Dinner.
Yeah, it's great. Great book. Really great book.
So Janice and Liz, this is the second book that they wrote. And we thought using some of their recipes in the test kitchen would be a great collaboration because I'm not a chef. It's hard for me to come up with recipes all of the time. So one of the recipes that we just saw, the black bean brownies, was very popular. We have them right here.
I'm going to lift them up. They're cut up. I'm really excited because we make these very often, and the students love them. And they're great substitutes. So can you tell us, you have 2 kinds of brownies
We
on
have
here.
2 kinds. I made both of these yesterday. The black bean brownies, right here, and I'm so happy to say that when Bianca saw them this morning, she said, oh, if I had to choose, I would choose, you know, the black bean brownie. But so there, as Karen said, there's no flour, so it's a gluten-free recipe. A can of black beans, a cocoa powder, 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of canola oil, some vanilla, ½ teaspoon of baking powder. And what's great about these brownies, all into the food processor. Super, super quick and easy. The other recipe I pulled offline, you know, went to Epicurious, went to the most popular recipe. And these brownies have 10 tablespoons of butter, 1¼ cups of sugar, white flour, and delicious, but You know, I don't even think they look as great
They
as
don't
the
look
other one.
delicious to me at all.
Yeah, and you know what?
We'll have Andrea try both of them.
I'll have to. But one thing I thought that was so interesting when we made the black bean brownies is that when she said, okay, and just a few tablespoons of oil, I said, that's it?
Yeah.
And when they
amazing.
come out, they are, you know, nice and soft.
And moist.
And moist. And I guess that a lot of that must come from the black beans themselves, which you
it
don't
adds,
taste at the end.
Yeah, great fiber and protein, all for a delicious snack. And you know, the other brownies were way more difficult to make. I don't think they look as good. And one of the sayings that we have at Seargent Choice is that, you know, we like for students to be able to have their favorite foods. And, you know, brownies is one of those foods. But we also ask everyone to be thoughtful about their eating and to really think about how sweet and how rich does it need to be. And you know, it's all about balance, and here's a way to have a delicious dessert and, you know, have it actually have a healthful component as well.
You know, Andrea came over and filmed right before our Seargent Choice test kitchen, and in the test kitchen, which Bianca has been a very active member, we cook with the students, so they're learning how to cook besides learning how to cook in a healthy way. So Andrea got there earlier, and students arrived at 8 o'clock, and they were following their nose down the hall because we had a batch of these cooking, which was pretty amazing. And the students seemed to gravitate to the Seargent Choice recipes because they know that they're tasty besides being healthy. And I think that that's so important. So Bianca, when you come to our weekly open hours, do students share with you anything about what it's like to make the food, learn how to make it, or to eat in a healthy way?
Absolutely. So working with the at the test kitchen with you has been amazing. But it's really great just because all the students are so enthusiastic. A lot of them are, of course, similar in age to me, and they're my peers. And it's just great to speak with other people about having this passion for food and cooking. And even if somebody isn't very interested in cooking, because the other thing to recognize is the fact that we're in dorms and we don't have our own kitchens. Right. But seeing their friends and other students starting to get involved, they kind of develop an interest in it. And people, I'm sure you know, there's so many students that come to the test kitchen, and this is the first time they've cooked before, and through you they find out that they have access to a kitchen and they can experiment with foods and learn how to cook. And also one of the great things that I've found speaking with students is that the test kitchen has become a resource for them, because eventually they're going to move out of, if it's not off-campus housing, they're going to move into an apartment with their own kitchen. And they have that little experience from the test kitchen every week. And in addition, we have the blog. So if they want to try any of the recipes that they remember loving, which most of them we do love, they can go to the blog and pick up the recipes. And
talk about the blog a little bit, because you do the blog each week, and lots of photographs. And it's really interesting because Bianca has such an eye for photographing food. Like all of these recipes could easily go into a cookbook with your photographs. So you put a photograph up, or maybe 2 or 3, and then the blog includes feedback, right, from the students and yourself, you know, a thumbs up or a thumbs down regarding the recipe and maybe making it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the most exciting things about the test kitchen, which Jen did mention. The reason the test kitchen was started was to test out recipes before they go into the dining halls. So another thing that we always talk about is, well, we evaluate the recipe after we make it, which is very fun, after we've tried it.
And we also played bananagrams and apples to apples while we're talking about it.
The whole night's just a blast.
It's a great night.
Exactly. So in the blogs, I'll also discuss what the recipe was like, the good, the bad, and what things things of the recipe that may need to be changed before they go into the dining hall. But it's really exciting because I think it was about 3 recipes that I wrote blogs about that had 2 thumbs up were actually put in the dining hall recently.
Yes,
so that was really exciting.
Great.
And students came to me, they stopped me on campus, or they messaged me online, and they said, it made it to the dining hall. We saw it, we tested this first. and that's really exciting.
So they feel proud. So the whole Sargent Choice, I think, plan of doing this initiative has really had incredible outcomes for students. You're a tremendous resource for them, but the name Sargent Choice comes with it on campus as something that attracts students to healthier eating and healthier selection of food, and they feel such a part of it. So we're really grateful. How do you feel about being part of it? Has it been meaningful to you?
It actually has been very meaningful. I'm very proud of the Sargent Choice program. And I'm just proud of our dining halls in general. You know, we have great executive chefs there that really want to collaborate and work with us. We hold 2 Sargent Choice nights each year, one in the fall and one in the spring. And on Sargent Choice nights at the dining hall, every single option in the dining hall is a Sargent Choice recipe. So, as I mentioned before, the soup and the pizza and every entree station. We just had one in March, and
I was there.
Yep,
I tried to try everything.
Yeah, and so we did have some test kitchen recipes that debuted at the dining hall at the test kitchen night. We did a vegetarian Chana Masala with a homemade whole wheat naan bread. At one of our dining halls, we actually have tandoor ovens, so that was amazing.
Could you explain what that is? Because I actually don't know.
A tandoor oven.
Oh, you'll have to come over and have lunch with us sometime.
Yeah, it's like a big drum, and I don't know how to explain it.
And the Chana Masala, what is that?
Oh, the Chana Masala. Oh, that is chickpeas and all sorts of spices. And do you remember the recipe exactly, Karen?
Not exactly, but there's some vegetables in it.
Yeah, a lot of vegetables, chickpeas.
A very, very easy recipe, and a lot of spices that, you know, it's an Indian, more of an Indian recipe. And then they made the beautiful bread with it. That was delicious. But I have to say my favorite Sargent Choice test kitchen recipe that was there were our tofu sticks.
Yes, delicious.
Those were so
they were
fun
amazing.
to
So, and I think you blogged about that one.
I did. That was one of the recipes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can tell us about that.
Oh, that was a great
Yeah.
recipe.
It was a really great recipe. I don't remember
There are tofu on a stick.
Yes, what the breading was.
It was breading, yeah, and I think it was a whole wheat.
It was a whole
kind
wheat
of
breadcrumb.
Yes.
breadcrumbs
Oh,
on it.
yes, it was. And the thing is that they're baked because this is Sargent Choice. We don't want to fry anything, and they taste so good, and they're so incredibly crispy. We actually spoke with students at Sargent Choice night, and they didn't believe that they were baked because they were so crispy, and they said, "How can this be Sargent Choice?"
Well, let's do this now. This is Sargent Choice, and let's have a bite.
Okay.
I think we all need to. So, Jen, thank you for making these.
Oh, sure.
Yes. So
you.
can you share with us the blog? Where can students go to find recipes like this, and the other recipes that you mentioned?
So, Jen, we'll put up the URL for the blog
Sure.
for Sargent Choice.
Great.
And these recipes are so easy. You know, we're eating brownies here, but we usually have vegetarian recipes, and quinoa is one of our favorite ones now, and students didn't even know how to pronounce it before we
That's
had our
right.
test kitchen.
That's
And
right.
I have to admit, neither did I. But thank you both for being on our show today.
Yes, thank you. And cheers to the brownies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, if you want to see more Lifestyle by Design, definitely check us out online, batv.org. Check us out on YouTube. You can also watch the show on BATV, Channel 3. We're on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. and Thursdays again at 8 p.m. And for Lifestyle by Design, I'm Andrea, and this is Karen. Thank you.